Hey, good morning, gardeners. This is Ed Froelich with The First Time Gardener here, bringing you back. Today is Friday, and we are coming into the 6th week of our cover crop that we planted. And today is the day that we are going to knock it down, turn it into the ground, with hopes of getting a second crop growing before we do our planting of our winter garden. So it has gone to seed. So we're going to take you over there. I'm going to show you the seed and what it looks like when it goes to seed, and then we're going to knock it down and turn it in, and hopefully the seeds that are on there are going to germinate hopefully within this next week and start growing again. We will not let it go to seed a second time. As soon as the blossoms, as soon as the flowers start emerging on there, we're going to give it about 7 to 10 days, and we're going to knock it down again. And then we're going to prepare our soil for our fall planting. So let me take you over there. I'm going to show you the seeds and then show you how it goes. Okay guys, as you can see, it's looking a little leggy. The flowers aren't quite as bright as they were. And if I take you down to this here, you can see the seeds starting to form. Now, they're not quite hard, not all of them are hard to the touch. Some are soft, some are hard, and some are kind of in between. But this is just an experiment to see. So now this one, if you see two, let's pick these off. So you see the dark brown one on the right is a pretty hard seed. That's kind of what it looked like when we bought it from the store. This other one is still green. It hasn't quite gone to seed. So don't know that that's going to make a difference. But you can tell, you can see all the dark spots on the flowers and the seed coming. So we're going to knock it down. Let's see, let's just check this one so you can see. Yeah, so now here, let's pick this. All right, we got, we pulled the whole thing up. But anyways, you can see there's a hard seed right there. Oop, pick that one. So there's a soft seed and a hard seed. So that's what we're planting. That's what we're going to turn into the ground. Hopefully that will re-germinate to grow a second crop. Now the reason we're growing, or we want to grow a second crop, is just to get more organic matter into this soil. This is going to be a tremendous help that's here. We also want to generate more bees and stuff coming around once it starts blooming again. Now I don't know that we'll get the coverage we have now. This is the first time I've ever grown it. It's the first time we're going to turn it in. So we'll just see. Hopefully once we turn it in today, this is Friday, hopefully by next Saturday we'll see some new growth shooting up of the seeds that have germinated and coming up, because this is a fast growing crop. About 4 to 5 weeks, it should be just where it is now, with the exception of not gone to seed, just flowering. So anyway, let's get with it. Okay guys, so I'm going to try a couple things. This is the first thing I'm going to try is my weed eater. I'm going to try to chop that down and lay it over with this and see how that works. If that doesn't work, we're going to try another method, but I want to knock it down and then I'm going to take a shovel and turn it in. I'm afraid to use my cultivator because I don't want to like chop up the seed too much. That could possibly germinate for our second crop. So I want to just kind of turn it in. So anyway, come along with me. This is what we're going to do. Okay, as you can see, that makes easy work. It's not too bad. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to finish knocking this down, and I have another section that also has this in. We're going to knock that down, and then we're going to turn it in. So follow along. Well guys, as you can see, that only took less than 3 minutes to knock that down. So it did pretty well. We're going to go over to the other section, going to knock that down, and then I'll be back and we're going to start turning this in. I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay guys, you can see the results. It did pretty well, knocking it down, and then I did the other section over there as well. So now we're going to get a shovel, and we're just going to turn this into the ground, and hopefully with turning it into the ground we are going to get a second crop. So we'll see. This is all experimental to me. So this is going to determine whether I left it go to seed long enough, or if it you know, it's too soon. Maybe the seeds didn't get to the point where they need to be in order to regerminate. So we'll see. If it doesn't, it doesn't. No big deal. We're still going to get some organic matter out of what we just cut down. So if it doesn't go a second time, then we just know that we need to let it go seed a little longer. Okay guys, I'm going to show you the next step. All right guys, so we're going to take the shovel over here, and we're just going to turn this into the ground. Okay guys, as you can see, I'm not trying to bury it deep. I'm trying to go thin on the ground to where I'm just going a couple inches and then turning it over, because I don't want to plant the seeds so deep that they take forever to germinate. So I'm just trying to keep it close to the top of the soil, and just make sure that, like, all the flower buds that you have that could possibly have the seed in it, just make sure they're covered by like a ½ inch to an inch of soil. Well, you can see it only takes a few minutes. It's not very long at all. All right guys, I'm not going to bore you with going through this whole thing, but I'm going to go ahead and turn the whole garden over. When I get done, I'll bring it back to you and show you what it looks like. All right guys, we're done with this. Probably took 15-20 minutes max. Turn it over, make sure I try to get most of the dirt over the flowers and the seed. So here's what it looks like, and we'll see what kind of germination we get, if any. If it does come up, we'll let it grow about 4 weeks. We're going to cut it down and then turn everything in with some cow manure, peat moss, some compost, and some 10 fertilizer. Get ready to plant our potatoes. I have potatoes getting ready to seed, probably in another 2 or 3 weeks, probably 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I'm going to order some more seed potatoes, because the ones I have in the house is not enough to do this whole plot that I want. So we will see about ordering some more so we can get this planted. So that's it. We're going to come back in 10 days and see if anything's germinated from this, and if it has, we'll let you see what it looks like. Hey, good morning to all you gardeners out there. This is Ed from First Time Gardener. Hey, bringing you back. It's early morning. It's a week after we turned our garden in where our cover crop was, and I just wanted to show you our results. Positive that we are doing and getting a second crop from what we turned in. The downfall of it is I think I should have let it go probably another week to this week to let more of the seeds, to let it go to seed a little more than what I did, because it was kind of mid-range. Some of them were done, and there was a lot of them that were getting ready to be done. But anyway, I wanted to bring you down here and show you after it got turned over. We don't have a lot, but you can see all these right here. They are all coming from seed that we turned over. Now, had I gone a little farther, you can see there's still ones that are just coming up. Now they might be from, because they got turned in a little deeper, they're just coming up. So we are getting we are getting a second batch. You can see we've got some there. Like I said, there's not a lot, but it definitely worked. But as far as the potatoes go in this section here, I'm not ready to put them in for another 2 weeks. As long as I get them in by October 1st, I think I'll be happy with that. But I want to try to get them in 2 weeks. So I'm going to let this grow. Of course, hopefully it's going to flower, bring up the last little bit of bees and wasps and butterflies and all that are drawn to the flowers. And then I'm going to be planting in sections. I'm not going to do this whole thing at once, because I want to plant succession so that we have a continuous amount of potatoes coming, so it doesn't come all at once. So it'll give time for some of this section here for the seeds that are just starting to come up to go. And there's our potatoes I just planted. There's a video coming out on that one. But when I do plant this section of potatoes, you can see I'm probably going to plant, like right here, I'm going to plant that section, and that's the size of sections I'm going to do. So I'll plant this one in 2 weeks, and then this section here 2 weeks from then, and then this one here I'm going to try to do 2 weeks from then. And then that section over there is going to be my greens as far as collards. I'm going to put some kale. And I was just reading this morning, garlic is a good thing to put in between the potatoes, because the pungence of the smell of garlic, and they said onions too, will detract some of the bugs and stuff that try to come in, because they don't like the smell. So I might try some. I've never grown garlic before, so I might try that, just for the 2 reasons. 1, see how it does here where I'm at in Florida, and 2, see if it does help cut down on some of the bugs. And I'm thinking of planting that in between these 2 plots, like maybe do 2 rows or 3 rows of garlic between that section of potatoes and this section of potatoes. All right, let me take you over real quick to the other section. Now this is maybe a little more dense. This is the buckwheat again that's coming in from where we turned it over. So it's looking good. This is where our carrots and onions are going to be. Oh, let me show you. Carrots are coming along really well. I'm really pleased with them, but they need to get transplanted here pretty soon. But they're doing really well. These are our onions. They're kind of struggling. I'm probably going to have to sow some in the ground and thin them out. See if that does a little better. These guys are hanging in there, but not too good. And the reds I had here, I didn't have any reds come up, so I don't know what the deal is with that, but I'm probably going to sow in a row of sweet onions and a row of red onions here in this garden when I plant, and I'll just have to thin them out. I just wanted to see if growing them in the grow trays would have been better, but I don't know. I'm not having as much luck as I thought I would in the grow trays. I was doing that just to prevent from having to thin out so much, but I don't know. We're going to try both ways and see which ends up better for the next time I plant. All right, guys. That is the cover crop coming back. So I'm pleased with it. All right, guys, so that's it. That's the cover crop coming back. I'm sure I'll show you a few shots of it when it comes back and starts flowering again, see what we actually have. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. It's our new channel, so please give a thumbs up. Most appreciative. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and if you have any questions or anything, leave them in the comments. Would love to read your comments and answer whatever questions you might have. So until then, happy gardening, stay safe, God bless. We'll see you on the next one.